Since white Jews are using their huge mega platforms to spread lies and negative propaganda about black people, I figured it's only right that I use my very tiny, minuscule, baby sized platform to actually tell the truth about them. So today, I want to talk about an attack by white Jews against the black community here in this country. This past weekend, there was a huge black rally for reparations. It took place in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. It was less than half of a mile away from the White House. This was a rally organized by the black community to address the needs of the black community and to send a message to the government of this country. This was very significant and revolutionary, and I'd say it was newsworthy. But there was no mention of it on any news media outlet. That's very strange to me. No mention at all. Now that's crazy to me because news outlets are supposed to report the news. So let's take a look at the definition of news. Well, the news is newly received or noteworthy information about recent or important events. Now, I'd call a huge rally organized by a substantial percentage of the country taking place right near the president's home that is discussing the demands of politicians right before a big election pretty noteworthy. And this is a recent event. And I'd say it sounds pretty important. So this is what I'd call news. But none of the supposed news outlets have covered it. I wonder why. Now let's look at the definition of propaganda. Propaganda is information of a biased or misleading nature that's used to promote a particular point of view. Now I bring this up because I want to bring up something about these big media news outlets. If you call yourself a news outlet, then that's what you should be covering, the news. And we've already established what the news is. You can't pick and choose what news you present because the news isn't biased, it's just information. Whether you like the information or not, it's supposed to be irrelevant. If you're a reporter of the news, then you'd report all news. If you pick and choose what information you present, then you're no longer a news outlet because you're now just cherry picking the information you're presenting based on your own biased view. And if we remember the definition of propaganda, then in reality, you're just a propaganda outlet. So now that we've established what these outlets really are, let's ask some questions. Why would a media company choose to always ignore information that leads towards the things that black society wants and needs? Why is it that everything that black people decide they need, these media outlets present propaganda that distracts from it? Why is it that whenever the black community props up and popularizes someone who is saying the things we once said, these media outlets choose to either ignore those people, destroy the character of those people, or both? Why is it that everything that these media outlets go out of their way to dismiss and diminish all of the messages that we want pushed, and instead constantly present people who purposely shoot down our message? Why is that? In my mind, it can only be one of two reasons. Either these media outlets think that black people are inferior to them, and as a result, they need to speak on behalf of the black community, or they're purposely trying to sabotage the progress of black people in this country because they're anti-black racists. Or it could be both of those reasons. It seems like these media outlets think that black people are inferior, small-minded creatures who are incapable of thinking for themselves, and so they're going to use their platforms to put us in the place that they feel we belong. And who are these media outlets? Well, the right-leaning ones like Fox aren't really relevant to this conversation because we already know that they're pathetic racist trash. And in actuality, Fox's real objective is to distract and deceive white America. I'll go into that at another time. So I'm not going to mention Fox News or any right-leaning trash heaps. So what media outlets are doing the things that I just went over? Well, it would be the left-leaning ones. The right-leaning ones play the role of anti-black publicly. So we expect them to be racist. But the left-leaning outlets are supposed to be the liberal ones. The liberal ones who love everyone all the time. So while the right-leaning outlets are publicly bashing us and publicly working to destroy us, the left-leaning outlets do it secretly, using subterfuge and deception. So they pretend to be on our side by hiring a handful of black actors and giving them scripts that are meant to fool black people into believing that we have a voice and that we're in some kind of control. But in reality, these left-leaning media outlets hire black actors to help them push propaganda that will keep black society stagnant and ultimately cripple us so that we can't advance. And let's take a look at the two major left-leaning media outlets. Well, of course, you have CNN. CNN is owned by Warner Brothers Discovery. And this company is run by David Zaslav, a white Jew. And of course, you can't talk about left-leaning media without mentioning MSNBC. MSNBC is owned by NBC Universal. And this company is run by Jeff Shell, who is, of course, another white Jew. More white Jews going out of their way to work against the black community. When we look into anti-black racism, we keep finding white Jews. So when you see things like Kyrie Irving, the whole extravaganza that's surrounding him now, understand that the people behind it are doing it because they hate black people. And they will and are doing everything in their power to either destroy us or to keep us from advancing as a people. And as you can see, many, if not most of them, are white Jews. So if you're black and you're wondering why issues that plague you never get addressed or never get attention, if you're wondering why nothing that really represents who you are is ever shown on television or in the movies, why you're always seeing and hearing negative stereotypes about you on television or on the radio or in movies, why the news is always talking about black crime while ignoring white crime, why police officers are quick to target, harass, and kill people that look like you, why the justice system is so eager to punish people that look like you, or why the government is always so dismissive of you or hostile towards you, always remember, white Jews have control of many institutions. And instead of using that control to keep things equal and fair, they use it to make sure that you're never able to get ahead. And to make sure that ultimately you're destroyed as a people. And if that bothers you, then you need to do something about it. Stop spending your money with these people and take away your support. Stop giving them the power that they need to do the negative things that they'll always do to us. Stop shopping. Oh, one last quick thing. Remember Jeff Shell, the white Jew that I mentioned earlier? He's the CEO of Universal NBC, remember? Or NBC Universal. Well, NBC Universal runs MSNBC. And MSNBC is normally considered the news for the left, right? Well, funny thing, Mr. Shell was also the president of Fox Cable Network Group, which at the time owned Fox News. Funny how that works, right? MSNBC is supposed to be the antithesis of Fox News, yet they just trade employees. So either the heads of these companies don't even believe the crap that their networks spew, or, as I've always said, they're both just employees of the same handful of wealthy people. Fox News, MSNBC, and all the rest are just propaganda mills that are there to give stupid people the illusion of choice. Whether you watch Fox and support the right, or you watch MSNBC and support the left, you're still just following the same handful of wealthy people that control us all. So you'll never get change substantial enough to better your life, because you're stuck in this game that the wealthy have engineered just to keep you complacent enough to keep working and shopping. Want to make a change? Take away the money that the wealthy use to control us. Stop shopping. It's time to wake the fuck up.